Man, oh man, we are here! What an amazing day! It feels like a classic Lego Rocks 99 style commentary, and I am here for it. I guess we all just needed some time to breathe and to just take it all in, feel good about what's going on, because today we're talking about Montreal Canadiens' first overall pick, Juraj Slafkovsky, and what happened yesterday against the LA Kings. Now, if you did miss it, we did have a post-game live stream about Montreal, LA, as well as Vancouver, Winnipeg. Both of those games concluded at around the same time, and I didn't really want to make separate videos about them. Plus, I think my algorithm on YouTube is really messing with me right now. People aren't really seeing my videos as much as they were like 3 or 4 days ago, so it was a pretty inactive deadline on this YouTube channel. But with that said, we have a very, very great Juraj Slafkovsky angle to dive into today in this video. Because as the Canadiens defeated the LA Kings 4-3 with some last-second heroics and a big comeback, Juraj Slafkovsky had 2 goals and an assist for 3 points on the night. He did so in 16 minutes and 38 seconds of ice time. He had a power play goal and 4 shots. This, of course, is all coming after the Olympic break, where Juraj Slafkovsky was named one of the best players of the tournament. And ever since then, for the Montreal Canadiens, Slafkovsky has played 5 total games, and in these 5 games, he has scored 7 points. Not bad. Let's take a look at what he was able to do in yesterday's contest. Habs on Reddit, I love this post. This is the Olympic Juraj Slafkovsky at play. The goal that he had scored to give the Canadiens the 2-1 lead was beautiful, as Slafkovsky curls around at the half boards in the offensive zone. He curls around again to get through the check and then drives to the front of the net, shoots, and scores. It's a beautiful boo right there for Juraj Slafkovsky. That activation, that split second where he decides, yeah, okay, I'm going to take this puck and I'm going to turn and then I'm going to turn again and then I'm going to free up space and then I'm going to drive and shoot. That's a beautiful play. You don't see Juraj Slafkovsky making these kinds of plays at the beginning of the year. You just don't see it. He's not as confident. He's not as poised. He doesn't have the activation skill to make the choices to do these kinds of things. You don't see it often, but you saw it here yesterday. And speaking about activation and speaking about skill, you had yourselves the game-winning goal with 4 minutes left in the third period. Firstly, where Juraj Slafkovsky is able to not hesitate and pass quickly to his captain. Secondly, Cole Caulfield with a beautiful steal to get the play started. Thirdly, you know it's a huge goal when Nick Suzuki does his celly. It's a really nice play here too. Caulfield with the quick steal, he pickpockets the puck, sends it over to Slaf, who then is able to corral it on his feet, and then quickly pass it across to Suzuki, who shoots, who scores. It's a one-time goal, and Slafkovsky, Suzuki, Caulfield is all of a sudden a point-producing, scoring line one more time. Now, let's go out there and talk about the overall numbers, because this is also a pretty important part of the conversation. Juraj Slafkovsky, with the points that he had scored yesterday, is up to 52 total in 62 games played. This, of course, puts him in pretty good territory. Slafkovsky went out there and spoke out about his 3-point performance, saying, I feel like the mindset is you want to be the guy that changes the momentum. It's important. And speaking about guys who change momentum, Slafkovsky has gone out there with a new career high in points with 52. And if you take a look at the previous seasons he had 51 points in only 79 games last year. That's 17 more games that he has played this year. The fact that he has gone out there with 17 fewer games and is able to outproduce last season proves that not only is his second half of the year point production absolutely shining compared to previously, but it also shows a higher ceilings worth of offensive skill that we are seeing this season, one that he has not displayed in any season prior to. This is a guy that is just doing things at a better rate. He is scoring more. He is more confident. His second-line stint with Demidov and Kapanen showed a level of offensive flexibility and maturity that we hadn't seen at the NHL level out of Juraj Slafkovsky up to this point. Now, I think the biggest stat that everybody is super excited about is the fact that Juraj Slafkovsky has tied Henri Richard for the most points in a season by a Habs player 22 years old or younger. And that is absolutely crazy. Henri Richard is the guy who has won the most Stanley Cups ever. Is Juraj Slafkovsky going to go out there and get freaking 11 Stanley Cups too? I mean, that is absolutely crazy, isn't it? 11 more games until March 30th as well, when Juraj Slafkovsky is going to reach 22 years old. The Pocket Rocket had a 19-season career, all with the Habs. Hope we can keep Slafkovsky for his whole career too. Remember when people called Slafkovsky a bust? Within the next few years, he'll likely be considered one of the elite power forwards in the game if he continues to grow how he has been. The Habs are lucky to have him. Us fans are lucky to get to watch him grow into his potential. Ending up with the two best players from that draft, you'll see both of them at the top in a redraft. Now, that is an absolutely crazy set of numbers. You can say this is crazy too. Nick Suzuki just passed Max Pacioretty for points with the Montreal Canadiens. That's absolutely insane as well. Nick Suzuki, of course, feels like he's been here forever, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, no, that guy was traded for Pacioretty just a mere, 7 years ago? It's been a while. I guess we're all getting older, aren't we? Speaking about old, the Pocket Rocket, Henri Richard, okay, maybe that's a little bit of a tough segue there, but Henri Richard is an absolute legend in his own right. You take a look at his overall production and his numbers and just the status that he had accomplished as an NHL player. Henri Richard had so many NHL seasons, so many championships, so many cups. He maxed out as an 80-point player in 67 games played in 1957-1958. Of course, you can talk about how many teams there were in the playoffs back when the Pocket Rocket was playing, but the fact that Juraj Slafkovsky has gone out there and tied Henri Richard for most points by a player before the age of 22, that is a pretty great milestone, if I do say so myself. So with all that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Juraj Slafkovsky tying the Pocket Rocket and putting himself in Montreal Canadiens prosperity in the history books. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.